KickCharge has named a lot of companies over the last 30 years. Sometimes it's what our clients want. Other times it's what they need in order to grow.
Here are the top 10 KickCharge Creative naming transformations, counting down to the boldest transformation of all.
So this brand has been in California for over 20 years. It's a last name brand. Do you think that they should keep on using it just because it's been successful?
Success under a poor identity is not a reason to keep using it.
Absolutely not. Last name brands are hard to say, they're hard to remember, sometimes they're hard to spell, and they just don't deliver you the value that you might think they do.
Customers have no emotional connection to that name. They don't know why it's important to you, and you want something that's going to draw the customer in.
So obviously the solution was something that's memorable, it's easy to say, and that people would be able to relate to. So choice is clear, clear winner.
There it is. There's a built-in brand promise here. Tells customers that they've made the right choice, that they can expect champion level service. It's all right in the name.
Plus, obviously, the word clear relates to what they do. You know, glass windows, glass doors, makes a whole ton of sense. And I mean, look at the wrap, it looks great to me.
So this company came to us with the name North Alabama Gutters, which might sound like a good idea to sort of tie yourself into your region, but doing that is going to limit you if you want to grow out of your region.
You also wouldn't know by this name, but they serve Tennessee as well. Would you have any idea that they're going into Tennessee?
No.
And then take into account too, all the other companies in their area that are also using North Alabama in some form in their name.
Right.
They've got a lot of competition. Plus they've got some pretty serious white band syndrome going on there.
I'd say. So we renamed them to Gutter Gliders. Alliteration is a really powerful tool in naming because it helps the name be stickier, which means that customers are going to remember it easier. And we leaned into that with this name for them.
Plus, nobody's really using anything like Gutter Gliders. That's totally unique, super cool, easy to remember. And again, look at what the illustrators did with something like that.
Makes a totally cohesive brand, and it's going to be really eye-catching when you see it passing you on the road.
Absolutely. If you saw Mechanical Plus and their vans rolling down the street, would you have any idea what they did?
No. And most homeowners don't know what mechanical means either.
Yeah, it's vague terminology. It doesn't make any sense to them. It has no emotional connection whatsoever.
Right.
And then they got that little blue and orange flame there, which makes sense, but
the market is going to be super saturated with those. It's not going to stand out in any way.
no, not at all.
They wanted their new name to be super warm and welcoming, everything that mechanical was not giving their customers. Mrs. Jones is going to be much more likely to call this company than they are to Mechanical Plus.
And something like this, Pinky Promise, that's so inviting. It's so warm, it's welcoming, and it's got that brand promise baked right into it.
It's going to build trust right away.
Plus, you've got alliteration.
There it is.
Makes it easy to remember.
Again. So we see a lot of names like this. We see a lot of people come in with names that start with A because they wanted to come up at the top of the yellow pages. But a name like this is going to make it really difficult for online search. You are not going to be able to sort of come out ahead of the pack with just A Locksmith.
Plus, I think the last time I used my yellow pages was to balance my coffee table. It's just so simple. It's not descriptive whatsoever. You're going to get confused with a ton of other competitors.
And they were actually having trouble when they came to us with their competitors taking advantage of that and sort of manipulating those search results. So they needed a new way to stand out.
So these guys are in Naples, Florida. It's a very tranquil, high-end, luxurious kind of place, which means something like KeyBreeze, perfect for them. It's just kind of vague enough to work anywhere they might want to expand to.
And not only is the name going to help them stand out, look at this wrap, and it's going to be easy to search specifically for them when you're online.
So rule number one when you're naming your company, make sure that it's not trademarked by somebody else already.
A good start.
Even if somebody else in the state might not be using it, that doesn't mean somebody else across the country isn't and they don't have a trademark.
When Clean Power Wash came to us, they had already invested a lot into this company, but they eventually learned that they couldn't trademark the name.
Plus, you have clean in the name, and that's great. They're doing power washing, but spelled with a K and two E's, that's not the usual way you're going to spell clean, and that might get people confused anyway.
Yes, absolutely. It's going to make it more difficult to search for them.
So with their name already being trademarked, this client really needed something quick, but we can absolutely do that. We make that happen. So there we go. Rinse Prince was born.
There he is.
There he is. It's a powerful name. It's regal. and it rhymes. Rhyming is so powerful because it makes it, again, really easy to remember the name and stick out and help people just keep that in the back of their mind when they're going to need to call for their services.
And it even references their services, so you know exactly what they do right away.
Absolutely.
So Garage Door Solutions, it's straight to the point, you know what they do, but there's no connection for the customer to make here, no emotional connection. It's also not going to be trademarkable, it's going to be difficult to search, it's not going to help them grow in any way.
Yeah, I mean, you see that rolling down the street, and sure, you're going to know that they do garage doors, but when you need to call them 2 weeks later, you're not going to remember which company you saw.
Exactly.
Not a chance. How did we get from Garage Door Solutions to Jolly Goat? They have a lot of farm animals in their area, and they thought it would be a great way to connect with, where they operate out of and what all of the local homeowners, relate to and understand.
And they have super leaned into this branding to the point that they're even bringing live goats to community events.
Plus, look how happy this mascot is. He's having a great time with that spring. And it's upbeat, it's positive, it's got that sticky factor to it. People are gonna remember this one and feel good about calling.
Absolutely.
Orange County painting. Orange County where?
Great question.
Florida, New York, California. You have no idea.
It both ties them into a region, but could be any of those regions. It does not help them at all.
Right. Plus, if they want to expand, they're kind of tied to their county. And on top of that, it's a painting company with it's just a white van. You're not going to catch that flying down the street, that small sticker like that. And again, that name is not really all that memorable, and they could think of any other painting company to call.
So we renamed them Rock and Rollers. This is a super fun brand. I love this one. It subtly ties into their painting services while also leaning into this musical branding idea. Super eye-catching, it's super fun.
They turned Buddy Holly into a painting mascot. How cool is that? You're not gonna see that anywhere else. No. It's totally unique, and the numbers don't lie either. Because I think within a year of rebranding, they saw a 40% increase.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Yeah. So my air system, you kind of get the idea of what they do. It's got air in the name at least.
Sure.
But it's still really, really vague. And the problem with this one, a lot of people thought that they weren't a real business. They just thought it was a fake listing.
There's nothing that's going to tell the customer that they're a dependable company. They wanted a new name to really reflect the value of their company, which they were not getting from this name.
And plus, like I mentioned, it has air in the name. You kind of get a vague idea of what they do, but could that be heating and cooling? Could that be, indoor air quality?
Macawsome is a blend of macaw and awesome. It's bursting with energy. It's going to stand out wherever you see it. It's playful, it's memorable.
And it's cool because the owner, Maynard, is from Honduras. He wanted something that would kind of tie to his roots. So we pulled out the macaw, which is the national bird of Honduras, but it's not too limiting either. It keeps it open, it keeps it clear. No reason to explain why it's a macaw, it works.
Makes it personal.
Absolutely.
So when people are naming their companies, they often will choose a name that means something to them, like their last name, but it doesn't necessarily mean anything to their customers. So Perry Plumbing doesn't mean anything to someone who just sees this logo driving down the street.
It is a mermaid. It kind of makes sense with a plumbing company.
Sure.
Are you doing enough to make her feel comfortable with inviting your technicians into her home?
Right. You want something that's going to be welcoming to them, that they're going to feel happy seeing drive up in front of their house. So Legendess might not be a real word, but that was the point. We wanted something that was going to be entirely ownable. The owner wanted something to reflect the brand's commitment to exceptional service and celebrate the strength and influence of women.
They want people to feel comfortable with, calling a technician, calling a plumber. They trusted the right company. That's what this is all about.
And it's all tied together with their tagline, empowering homeowners everywhere.
MDG. It's clearly some initials. Even a day later after you see this chalk, are you going to remember that? Initials just don't mean anything to the average homeowner, and they might be an easy way to name your company, but they're probably going to do a lot more harm in the long run than they are going to do good.
Right. You're not doing anything to build trust with the customers. You're not doing anything to make yourself memorable. And on top of needing a name change, there was a lot of work to do with the wrap and the entire look of this company. And they came to us knowing that they needed to revitalize. So in an effort to build a more appealing brand, we leaned into the idea that this team is a team of self-proclaimed teddy bears. They wanted a softer brand that was going to reflect the level of care that they're bringing to all their jobs.
Yeah, and look how awesome this came out. This is so cool. We leaned into the honey-do list, a classic, everybody understands what that means. And we took it and, changed it in a way that is just so on point, it's thematic.
And these mascots are iconic now.
Absolutely iconic. Benjamin and Buzzy, I'd hire them. I'd hire a bee and a bear to come and fix my stairs. Plus, it's clearly paying off for them. I mean, within just a year of doing the rebrand, Honeydude's average tickets up by $1,000.
Incredible.
That's huge. People trust them. It means that the brand is working. It's nothing but up for them. These are, in our opinion, our 10 most radical naming transformations to date.
Every single brand in our portfolio has received a massive upgrade, and we're honored to have played a role in changing so many lives across the country.
We hope you enjoyed this look into our naming process and learning about the how and why behind choosing a brand new name.